All right, good morning, traders. It's Friday. Yay. All right, April 17th, 2026. My name is Coach Carignan, lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you for liking, following, subscribing, and leaving kind comments on my content. Appreciate that. Love that. Special shout out Bob Jordan, John Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted, Ed Carter, Rick Sadler, everybody that shares the BYOB content, helping get the good word out there to the World Wide Web. All right, let's take a look at the markets this morning, see what we can figure out what happened yesterday, and see how we can make some profits for today. All right, let's move this out of the way. Nice buy pivot this morning, 699.40 above it, bull, below it, I'm a bear. SPY, QQQ made new all-time highs. All of the Fab 5, except for Diamond Dow, made higher highs, higher lows, closing over bullish traps over their 17 EMAs. Diamond Dow made an inside day, closing over a bullish trap, and over the 17. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend, 10-minute uptrend. Gold made lower high, lower low, closing inside bullish trap and over the 17. Silver, lower high, lower low, closing over bullish trap and over the 17 EMA. USO, higher high, higher low, closed inside a bearish trap and over the 17. UNG made a little turnaround here on a UNG. Maybe they're trying to stage a rally, but they're still down there in quadrant 1. Made a higher high and a higher low, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17. US dollar index still in a daily downtrend and closed near the 98.22 area. SPY max pain for today, 679. Wow, that's way down there. With a put-to-call ratio of about 3.5 puts for each call that expires today at 4:15. Index options expire 4:15. Security options expire at 4. If this is your first time seeing this, these are all in daily uptrends over the 17 EMA. These are all in daily downtrends under the daily 17 EMA. If they got a little star next to it, they're building out a launch pad, or otherwise called a bull flag, from which to launch higher. If they got a little dash, it means they just had their breakout probably yesterday. All right, so everything over here, if they got a little star next to it, they're building out a platform from which to dive lower, or otherwise known as a bear flag. So under the 17 EMA, over the 17 EMA, this is my little watch list right there for products to trade right there. All right, so let's start with the SPY on a clean chart, and let's take this out of the way. Don't really need that. See what we can push around here. See if I can move some stuff. Okay. All right. So if we look in here into the close, we've got uptrend. We've got the sticks and the 3 EMA riding up on top of the 8, not by much. All right. Over the VWAP line right there. So we got a little bit of daylight right here between the 3 and the 8. So 10-minute uptrend coming into the close on the SPY 2-hour chart. You can see the sticks and the 3 riding up on top of the 8. You got daylight right here. The 3 EMA riding up on top of the 8 EMA. So we got 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Daily candle. Okay, new all-time high. Doesn't get any better than that. All right, it's hard not to be bullish and in an uptrend when you're making new all-time highs. So I'll pan way out so you can see. This is our April origin of our rally. We go up. That is the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Come back down here, make a higher low, and then rip, make new all-time highs right there on SPY. So that's bullish and in an uptrend. Weekly chart, bullish and in an uptrend. Monthly chart, see all the green dots? Bullish and in an uptrend on the monthly chart. Let's take a look at QQQ. Start back here on the 10-minute chart. You can see right here, We've got the sticks and the 3 EMA riding up on top of the 8. We've got a daylight between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA. We've got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. 2-hour candle, 2-hour chart. You got the candlesticks and the 3 EMA riding up on top of the rising 8 EMA. 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Daily chart. New all-time high, doesn't get any better than that. Price bullish and in an uptrend. You can see over that prior all-time high anchored VWAP. That's this pink line. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish. And in an uptrend, they're making new highs. All right, on the weekly chart, bullish and in an uptrend. See all the green dots? Making new all-time highs. Monthly chart, bullish and in an uptrend. Back up here, let's take a look at the Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow is not quite as strong as the rest of the indexes. Okay, so Diamond Dow got an inside day. It's a lower high. It's a higher low. Closed over a bullish trap. Closed over a rising 17 EMA. We're in the middle of quadrant 4. That's bullish. We're up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's a nice sign. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. We are not in an uptrend. We're in a dysfunctional downtrend. The dysfunctional downtrend exists because we have not made a higher high, but price is either melting up or moving to the right. So Diamond Dow, bullish, but still in a dysfunctional downtrend right there. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM, higher low, higher high, closing over bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. It almost looks like a brand new all-time high over here to the right. Okay, so there's IWM, bullish and in an uptrend on IWM. I'll pan way out here. This is the origin of the IWM back here in April. We come up, set a higher low, rip, make a new all-time high, pull back, make a higher low. Are we going to make another new all-time high? Maybe so. Looks like it. Let's take a look at Stinker. All right, back here, April, this is the all-time low. Okay, right here, November, this is the all-time high. From here, we have a pink all-time high anchored VWAP right there. All right, from there, we have a pullback all the way down into the bearish section. That would be the lower 1/3 of the quad lines from the high to the low. Price action for daily candle for yesterday. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the midpoint or the midfield or the 50-yard line right here, 50% line, closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP, not in the upper third, not in the lower third, so just neutral. And you can see a high here, they're making a higher high, and in an uptrend, neutral uptrend for FNGU. Let's take a look at silver and gold. Start off with silver. Silver, lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap and over the, well, I'm going to call it hooking, almost hooking, 17 EMA under the all-time high anchored VWAP, not in the upper third, not in the lower third. So we're neutral, but in an uptrend, you can see a high. We're making higher highs. So neutral and in an uptrend for silver. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is a lower high, lower low, closing inside of a bullish trap over the flat 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP at the bottom of quadrant 4 here. That's going to be in the upper third. That's bullish. And you can see highs, and we're making new, we're making higher highs, not new all-time highs, just higher highs here. So we're making highs, newer highs, so we're in an uptrend, so that's bullish, and in an uptrend for GLD. Let's take a look at USO. Okay, USO, higher low, higher high, closed inside a bearish trap over the flat 17 EMA, Bottom of quadrant 4, that's bullish. Have not made a lower low yet, so we're still in an uptrend. Bullish and in an uptrend on USO. UNG, higher low, higher high, closed inside a bearish trap under the following 17, under this 12-month high anchored VWAP. At the bottom of quadrant 1, this is the all-time low. We are really in serious jeopardy of attacking that all-time low for UNG. Price is bearish because we're in the lower third, or at the bottom of quadrant 1. We haven't made any higher highs. You can see we got a low here. We made a lower low. So we're obviously in a downtrend. So bearish and in a downtrend for UNG. Let's take a look at technicals. T2101. You can see price market made new all-time highs. Let's see what the participation looked like. So this day, the 15th, the market made some new all-time highs. The 16th, the market made some new all-time highs, and we're losing participation. So the market's getting thinner and thinner as we're making new all-time highs. Okay, not a good sign. It's almost a bearish sign if you want to really examine it and think about it right there. T2101, T2122. We camped out in the overbought zone all day long. How high did we get up there? That was 99. That's a reversal number right there. So we could see a reversal sometime today. I don't know if we will. We could camp out here for another 2 or 3 days. But we are in the overbought zone, and we did hit the 99 number. Okay, so that's T2122. Obviously, that's bullish. I would be looking to buy the dip on this, on the market, based on the price action I've seen and price spending this much time up here in the overbought zone. So pullbacks for me are going to be buyable for the SPY and the QQQ. That's T2122. T2123 on the 15-minute chart. Bullish gap up, not filled by the bears. Definitely bulls in charge still. All right, we're bullish until we're not. All right, we're making highs. We're making higher highs. So we're in an uptrend. You're on top of the hooking 200 SMA. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. That is the all-time high. Let's stick the quad lines in there. You can see we're darn close to knocking on the door of the upper third right there. Probably even in it right now. So there's T2123. Neutral to bullish, and definitely in an uptrend making higher highs and higher lows. That's T2123 15-minute chart. T2123 3-bar chart. You can see we're in the middle of quadrant 4. That is bullish. Here's the origin of our move, April. We rally up and make a new all-time high in September for 2025. Have a pullback. And then rip, make another new all-time high in the year of 2026. All right, currently price is bullish, technically in a dysfunctional downtrend, okay? We haven't made any higher highs here on the 3-bar chart. Okay, we've got some lows, lower lows, and lower lows. So still in the downtrend here on T2123. Okay, still in a downtrend till we make some higher highs. The only way they break the downtrend status is by making a new all-time high. Either that or they stop here, put in a lower high, put in a higher low, come back up and rip through it. That will change the status, okay? So you can see it's just a label. Price action pulls back, and you can see dysfunctional downtrend. We're no longer moving down. We're actually melting up or moving over to the right. So price on top of this rising 200 SMA. Hey, that's where you want to be if you're a bull. You're in the middle or the top end of quadrant 4. That's a bullish clue right there. T2123 is bullish in a dysfunctional downtrend. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, so FNGU yesterday, let's take a look. Yesterday was the 16th. I see a high on the 15th. 16th, we made a higher high. We have not made any lower lows. Therefore, we are still in our uptrend. We're over the rising 200 SMA. It's where you want to be if you're a bull. You're over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Again, that's the location you want to be. If you're a bull, T20, that's FNGU. All right, if we slip the quad lines in there, they're going to be up in the upper quadrant, number 4. Okay, so that's bullish and in an uptrend on the 15-minute chart. Notice the daily chart for FNGU, when I went over it earlier, was neutral and in an uptrend. Okay, so bullish and in an uptrend on the 15-minute chart. All right, let's take a look at US dollar index. That's this one right here. And you can see, let's take a look at the whole picture. Okay, so for 2025, this is the high. Okay, from 2025 high, we start a series of lower lows and lower highs, so we go into a daily downtrend. From the daily downtrend, we break multiple years of support right here. So we break major support. That would be consolidation. This would be the major support underneath here. So we break the major support and start producing a bear flag right underneath it. Try a few times to break back in to the consolidation zone. We failed here, here, okay? So from there, you can see in this bear flag that we're in, actually the fabric of the flag is looking almost longer than the flagpole here. All right, but anyways, this is the US dollar index. We had an uptrend as we made an attack on the consolidation zone up here. You notice we got double stopped right here, double top. And then from there, we got a low that scoots below the 17 EMA. Then we turn around, make a lower low. So that uptrend ended. Now we're in a downtrend, making lower lows inside of our bear flag. Okay, so we haven't been able to break lower, and we haven't been able to break higher. Okay, we are kind of widening the field here. And I can see this is getting a little bit lower, but not to break through. This is getting a little bit higher, but unable to break through there. So US dollar index is currently in a downtrend on the daily chart right there. Let's take a look at the economic calendar. And what do we want over here? All right, so let's start off with Max Pain. Max Pain is 679. Put the car, let me refresh this. Okay, Max Pain is 683. They changed it on me. Put to call ratio is 3.7 puts for each call that expires today. On the earnings calendar, a lot of financials going to be reporting today before the market opens. Nothing here that's going to be market moving. All right, as far as economic calendar, nothing here that's going to be market moving. So it's business as usual. I would expect more of the same, unless, of course, they put in an exhaustion move in the SPY, or if they put in a failure to make a significant higher high. All right. Now, so let's go take a look at the pre-market right now, and we'll look at the game plans as well, and see what we can come up with for a plan for today. So let's start off with SPY, and we'll start with the game plan on the 15-minute chart. All right, so SPY, we've got green erases red over 702.60. We got the pivot 699.40, above it bullish, below it bearish. red erases green underneath 696.35. Okay, that's the game plan prior to any price action right here. I like Friday options on the multiple of 5 specifically for, yeah, you guessed it, the open interest. All right, I like a tight bid-ask spread, and I like not a lot of slippage when I get stopped out. All right, I like strikes at the money. Recently, we're having 9 and $8 to $10 moves. The ATR is currently at $7. Having $8 to $10 moves, and sometimes we only get $2 to $3 of movement or range for the day. All right, so or $2 to $4 of range for the day. So for that reason, I want the at the money options only because if I'm only going to get $2 or $3 worth of price action for the day, kind of want something that's going to give me that penny for penny performance. I don't want to be left out in the cold. I kind of want to be part of the participation here in the SPY. So I kind of want the at the money options. No longer, I used to like the out of the money, but I think I want the at the money so I can get a little bit higher performance with my options. All right. I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. My favorite trade is the 10-minute uptrend that resides inside the 2-hour uptrend, that resides inside the daily uptrend, inside the weekly uptrend, inside the monthly uptrend. So I got all the bigger time frames supporting my 10-minute uptrend. Hopefully it goes further and lasts longer. We'll see what happens, okay? So I like that when it's all up over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP or the all-time high anchored VWAP, okay? That is the current status right now. We are up over that prior all-time high anchored VWAP. So I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I just shared my favorite trade, all right? I'm not opposed to taking a 10-minute downtrend if one were to manifest today, okay, up here. All right, and start working its way down here. I just like to see it break that bearish 10-minute rubber band candle, all right, in order to take it up here in the green zone, especially if I got a downtrend in the green zone or in the yellow zone long before we take out the red erases green entry down here, okay? I like 10-minute uptrends. I like them. I'm not opposed to trading a 10-minute uptrend from down here. I just like to see it break the bullish 10-minute rubber band candle, all right, on the 10-minute chart. Let's take a look at QQQ. Let's move this out of the way. Let's push this up, push this stuff around a little bit, get a good visual going. All right, so QQQ, much like SPY, QQQ, green erases red over 642.20. Pivot 638.55, above it bullish, below it bearish. Red erases green. Yep, 638.35. Case 55. Red erases green underneath 635.25. Okay, same thing. I like Friday options on the multiple of 5, specifically for the open interest. All right, on a tight bid-ask spread. Don't want a lot of slippage on stop outs. I like strikes that are at the money. I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. Like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Okay, currently in the futures chart, QQQ has put in a double top. All right, in other words, they came up and they hit the same spot twice, and they failed to make a significant higher high on the futures chart. So we'll see where we go. We may start a 10-minute downtrend over the next 60 minutes, all right? So if we do start a 10-minute downtrend over the next 60 minutes, I will be interested in trading or participating in the current 10-minute downtrend, all right, when the market opens, all right? Just going to put that out there right away, okay? If price structure breaks the low right down here Okay, that would be the consolidation right here from the post market from yesterday. Okay, so if price pulls all the way back here, breaks through this consolidation and this consolidation, I'm interested in taking a 10-minute downtrend to move lower. Okay, so if they take out all of this consolidation, currently you got consolidation over prior consolidation. That's a bullish environment. You can see price currently is still melting up here on QQQ. All right, looking like it wants to make some newer highs. Okay, so that's the QQQ plan. All right, let's take a look at SPY. SPY did not put in a double top on the futures chart. Okay, they're still working their way up. You can see 605, probably go up to 605.50. All right, so we'll see what happens with this. Again, looking like an exhaustion move, possibly coming soon. All right, so again, if they have a 10-minute downtrend, I'll be highly interested in trading the 10-minute downtrend. If not, I will look to pick up on the current 10-minute uptrend. Let me just say there's a call wall. Let me make sure I got that right. If there's a call wall, I think there is a call wall at 705. Okay, that should provide some resistance. All right, doesn't mean that they can't get over the call wall. I'm just saying it's out there early in the morning. So we'll see. We got a put wall. Now all this may change when the market opens up here. So I don't expect them in the pre-market to get over 705.50. All right, that would be probably the tops for the SPY. So they may start a 10-minute downtrend, which I may want to participate in as a continuation of that downtrend. And they may break the lows here. Remember, they were just in the overbought zone yesterday and the day before. They hit the 99 number, all right? So hasn't been too many times after hitting the 99 that I haven't seen price reverse. Maybe this will be the first time, all right? But every time in the past, whenever we hit 99, it seems like price wants to reverse within the next 24 hours, all right? So that's my plan for this morning, okay, on SPY and QQQ, all right? I'm looking for the reversal. It may never happen today. It might not even happen till, I don't know, it might not happen till next week. We'll see what happens, all right? But that's the plan. All right, that's it for me for this morning. I will open up the markets with everybody here in about 45 minutes. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you in 45. Thank you, everybody.